Hi, everyone, and welcome. As usual, I'm just going to give a couple of seconds to allow you guys to keep coming in before we start the business of the day. Um, Before we start, once again, just want to say a shout out to each and every one of you. How have you guys been? This is noon. I'm sure a lot of people should be on their break or some driving to, office. Those still working at home, how has it been? Those caught up in traffic, of course, traffic can be terrible sometimes, but I hope each and every one of you is having the better use of his day. You know, just want to talk a little bit about the weather here down in Philly. Today is kind of favorable, unlike a couple of days ago. I don't know how yours is. I've got two wonderful presenters today. But before I officially, excuse me, introduce them. Uh, I just want to let you know that today is indeed a good day and just sit down, sit tight and flow according to the tune of our presentation. Now I can see from my list, we've got a couple of numbers. I think I'll just start even as people keep joining us. Good afternoon once again. For those of you guys that are joining us for the first time, my name is Gagba Esahaya, and I'm the training coordinator with the Temple Small Business Development Center. The Temple Small Business Development Center helps small businesses start and grow. We offer free one-on-one consulting and a variety of low to no cost webinars. We are proud to be part of the nationally accredited network of the Small Business Development Center, which has over 1,000 networks across the state. You are here this afternoon for a webinar on building profitable relationship with LinkedIn. A copy of the PowerPoint and a link to the recording will be sent to all the attendees. Being a webinar, all the attendees have been muted. However, we always encourage you guys to drop your question on the Q&A and the chat box. Like I said from the onset, today is indeed a great day. Why? Because I've got two great presenters. Without further ado, please allow me to welcome Curt and Wesleyne even as they take over the floor for the presentation. You guys are humbly welcome.
Hey, Garba, thank you so much, my friend. What an absolute honor and privilege it is to be here as always. Guys, happy to, no, Wednesday. Is it Wednesday already? My goodness, we're at the hump. I didn't even realize it. So man, how exciting is this, guys? Happy, it's actually, Wesleyne, you know what? It's my wife's birthday. So how about happy birthday to my wife, Jill, today? So I got to be the good husband. So guys, welcome to the program here at Temple SBDC. And let's talk about the SBDC for a second. Garba and his entire crew, Janice is here today. Maura is the director of the Temple University SBDC. Guys, if you're in Philadelphia, man, you have the rock star SBDC of the country. That's between us, Garba. So Bernie, thank you. So guys, SBDC is absolutely, their services are completely free, totally confidential. If you're coming to us outside of the Philadelphia area, there are numerous SBDCs throughout Pennsylvania. As Garba just said, there's nearly 1,000 around the country. Their services are incredible, amazing, wonderful for you as entrepreneurs. So guys, thank you for joining us today. I see Heather, Amy, Bernie, Christopher, Dana, all sorts of you guys, and we are super excited. Let's get sleeves rolled up. This is a workshop. So this isn't one of those, hey, let's sit back and webinar and we'll multitask. Boy, we would love to have you guys engaged, and we're gonna crush it today with LinkedIn. So with that, I want to introduce my dear friend. My name's Curt Anderson. I want to introduce my dear friend, my bestie, Wesleyne Greer is coming to us live from Houston, Texas. Wesleyne, how are you today?
I am doing awesomely amazing. It is sunny down here in Houston, and I am excited to share with you guys today. So as we get kicked off, we are going to be as interactive as possible during our time today. You'll see a couple different polls. So this first one is here. You can go in and you can actually take your phone, scan that QR code, or you can go to swiftpolling.com and type in 26136 and just tell us, what are you hoping to gain from the session today? We really want to know, because we want to make sure that all of your questions are being answered. And I see Heather Arnold, you have your hand raised. You want to pop in the Q&A or in the chat a question that you may have for us today?
And Wesleyne, while Heather's doing that, since if this was live, if we were in person today at a networking event, we'd be shaking hands, maybe high-fiving, fist bumping, whatever we'd be doing. Since we aren't doing that, please drop your LinkedIn profile in the chat. Let's connect, let's engage. This is a great opportunity for you to build your network. So we'd love to hear where you're coming from. Drop in the chat box your name, business, and we'd love to have your LinkedIn profile. Drop your LinkedIn profile and you have an opportunity to start connecting with everybody on the call today. So, all right, here we go, Wesleyne. We're getting some good comments here.
Yes, networking on LinkedIn. Yes, we are going to talk to you about that because LinkedIn is a social platform, and it's just like Curt said, it's going out there and shaking somebody's hand. That's exactly what we're doing in the digital footprint. We won't really be talking about doing paid ads on LinkedIn, but I am happy if you want to connect with me, we can have a session offline and I can chat with you about that. Helping consulting clients understand how to use it for your business. Like, hey, does this actually even work? Do I even need to be on here? Improving your LinkedIn page and generating better connection. By the end of this session, you are going to have a fully stacked page, and we're going to walk you through how to do it. And as Garba said, you're going to get this recording so you can go back slowly and listen and make sure that you're updating everything on there and keep those coming in, right? Connecting with successful people, improving your profile and your business. This is great. This is great. I'm glad you guys are all able to use the polling tool. And as I said, we'll be using it throughout the session. So now let's get ready to rock and roll. So Curt, tell us about yourself a little bit.
Hey, well, a couple more shout outs. We've got our dear friend. I always count on Small Biz Philly being with us when we're at Temple University. And Lenore is here. She's a dear friend. We've connected on LinkedIn. And of course, we have Leslie, Linda, all sorts. Lisa, thank you guys for taking time. We know how super busy you are. We never take it for granted that you are busy. You have 1,000 other things that you could do. You're spending here with us. And so we are dedicated to help you. So yeah, this is my LinkedIn profile. I'm an e-commerce evangelist for manufacturers. What does that mean? I am working relentlessly, tirelessly. My passion, all my energy goes towards helping B2B companies, industrial companies, and manufacturers figure out this whole little e-commerce thing. Number one job on the planet. I'm a proud girl dad. And Wesleyne, we're going to talk about when you and I connected, how that resonated with you. And of course, you're a boy mom. I have a little book. It's called Stop Being the Best Kept Secret. And Wesleyne, that's our goal today, to help everybody here to stop being the best kept secret. How about you, my friend? What's going on with Wesleyan's world?
So I am a sales leadership coach. I work with companies and I really help them build strong sales organizations. But you can't just build sales in a vacuum. You have to make sure the leadership and the business owners are actually empowered and acting as leaders and not having their hands in all the cookie jars. So I focus primarily on STEM industries, science, technology, engineering, and manufacturing. So we always like to practice a little bit of what we preach. So here's a good tip for you guys. On your LinkedIn profile, you have to use the one on your phone. If you go to the very top where that search bar is, you see a square, and that square is your calling card. You can pull up these QR codes. So you can actually scan my QR code, which is on the left, or you can scan Curt's on the right, and that's how you can connect with people. So if you're out at a networking event, a lot of times, you have your stack of business cards, but why not say, hey, connect with me on LinkedIn? And then you have that person's full social footprint. What do you think about this, Curt?
I absolutely love it. Very efficient. And again, years ago, I used to do LinkedIn workshops, and for a running joke, I had a stack of business cards, and this is like 2015, and it was a stack of business cards about 6 inches thick. And I would walk into my LinkedIn workshops, and I'd be like, guys, what's more efficient, my phone or the stack of business cards? Right? It is just so efficient to go this route. And I love that you're pulling everybody here with a QR code. So great job, great tip here, Wesleyne.
Awesome. So now what we're going to be talking about is we're going to go into a brief overview of our sales funnel, because yes, LinkedIn is important, but I want to make sure that is a part of your comprehensive strategy. So when we look at our basic sales funnel, we have leads, we have prospects, we have deals, and we have clients. So leads, those are what I call, that's when you're being attracted to the masses. That's everything that you're doing to get people to say, hey, yay, I'm interested in you. I'm interested in your content. Prospects, those are more those one-to-one relationships. So now those people that you said, okay, I'm kind of interested in what you have going on, but so maybe we should talk a little bit more. We're going to be talking about specifically prospects, right? How do we prospect on LinkedIn? And when we think about prospecting, there are 3 separate pillars, right? And the thing is, you have to be involved in all 3 of these to really have a comprehensive prospecting plan and to make sure you have a good sales funnel. So networking, right? Yes, I'll talk about that again, Pam, at the end, how to get the QR code from your phone. Or Curt, maybe you want to pop a link in there. So 3 pillars of prospecting: networking, that is physically going to in-person events or using LinkedIn as a networking means. Educate them and they will come. Doing lunch and learns, doing webinars, doing seminars, actually teaching people things about that they don't know. And then digital. That's really what we're going to be focused on today. The digital method of prospecting. How do you set yourself up for success on LinkedIn so you can use it as a prospecting tool? Okay. So now, what are we talking about here, Curt?
Well, let's go there for a second, guys. So again, if a little question for everybody, and we want this super interactive. And again, our goal is that you walk away feeling a little bit more confident, more courageous to get out there on LinkedIn and start inspiring some new connections. You know, what I'd love for everybody to do. So you dropped, thank you for everybody. A bunch of folks dropped their profiles in the chat. Let us know what you do. Okay, talk about what you do. What are your superpowers? Drop that in the chat box because we'd love to hear that. But we want to talk about maximizing business opportunities. Now, Wesleyen, we do a lot of these networking events and so on and so forth. And a lot of times, we don't know what we don't know. When I'm an older guy, I'm a digital immigrant. When people throw a new technology to me, I'm a little bit resistant. Hey, does this work? Right? We had a great training yesterday with a group of manufacturers, some out of Alaska, some in New York, and they were talking about how they're crushing it on Instagram. But they want to make that transition into B2B. And by going into B2B, they really feel strongly they need to be on LinkedIn. So the question to them, the question for everybody here today is, are you maximizing the business opportunities waiting for you on LinkedIn? Obviously, that's why you're here today is to pick that up. But share in the chat box, like, what are your superpowers? Why would somebody want to connect with you?
Okay.
And we're getting some great answers here. Small Biz Philly, we know, is a content guy. Bernie's chiming in. Allison, interactive cooking experience. I love it. And we had some fun cooking examples yesterday.
Custom Philly centric branded apparel. Okay. Oh, food business strategy consultant.
Yep. We've got, let's see, Allison, interactive cooking. We have got Angie as an event management. Lisa is healthcare public relations consultant. That's fantastic. Heather is a graphic designer, photographer, Small Biz Philly content. Excellent. So again, and keep this going. Lori's a pet insurance agent. Man, did I need to talk to you last year, Lori? We'll talk about that another time. We keep your memories alive. Latanya, hopefully I pronounced that correct. Suzanne, I help you heal your land without chemicals. Oh man, is that a good one, Wesleyne?
That's good.
She's a soil lab tech. Excellent. Okay, this is great. Okay, take it away, Wesleyne. What's our favorite word?
FREE. I mean, what can get better than free?
That's right.
So somebody asked about paid ads on LinkedIn. And yes, you can definitely run paid ads on LinkedIn. But fun fact, LinkedIn ads are the most expensive of the ads that you can run. However, on the other side, LinkedIn has the best, absolute best organic reach of any social media platform. And that is what we're showing here. This is organic stats. These are real stats from my actual views, right? 36,000 views in 30 days, 931 likes. And so if you're sitting in a room and you had 36,000 people in that room, how'd that make you feel, Curt?
Man, makes me feel warm and fuzzy, Wesleyne. And we're going to introduce everybody to, in a little bit, I'll jump ahead. We're going to introduce everybody to Soulmates. But boy, when you're in a room of 36,000. Now, maybe they're not all buyers, right? I'm assuming that they're not, but boy, when you're in certain businesses where, just a handful of ideal clients are in the room and you have a quality connection and they're seeing that you're showing your area of expertise, you're delivering education. What was, networking, education. What was the third one? Digital. We're combining all three of these here right in one platform. And so what Wesleyne loves to talk about, as a matter of fact, we have a program coming up later, I think in May, about, educating over selling, like how do we be the educator? How do we be the go-giver? How do we be, and we're going to talk about a friend of ours, Dan Bigger. How do you get out there and be the connector? So I love that you pulled this up because this is proof in the pudding, if you will. We're not just talking the talk. This is walking the walk right here. Great job.
And so many times on social media, what we think about, we're like, oh, I didn't get that many likes or that many comments, but views matter because there are actually people who will slide into your DM. I got one a couple of weeks ago and she was like, I've been following you for over a year and I absolutely love your content. And I'm like, who are you? You've never liked anything. You've never commented on anything, but people are watching. And so the goal is don't always think about the number of people who are raising their hands to say, I like you, because your soulmate may be a lurker. So being unstoppable.
You know what's funny, Wes? So two things real quick on that. Since we're here at Temple, I have to share. So two things. In the chat box, I found a little help on the QR code for LinkedIn. So if you click that link that I dropped in the chat box, that will walk you step by step and show you exactly how to use that QR code. And again, reach out to Wesleyne or myself. But Wesleyne, so it was a little over a year ago, 2 years ago, early COVID, I connected with Maura Shanker, the director here at Temple University Small Business Development Center. Again, guys, if you're in the Philadelphia area, if you haven't engaged with the SBDC, strongly encourage you, welcome you to do so. Their team are top notch. Maura and I connected, had a nice conversation. And about 6 months later, she reaches back out to me and she's like, Curt, I've been watching what you're doing. I'm paying attention. I need you here at Temple. So that was a perfect example. And she is just, what a breath of fresh air. What a gift that she is. Relentless entrepreneur, brings a lot of energy to the SBDC, but she did exactly as you said. She's like, I've been watching you, Curt. And this is why we're here today, is because of the connection I made through LinkedIn with Maura.
Awesome. And so what are your LinkedIn superpowers, Curt? What's that about?
Well, and all right, let's put it out to everybody again. So everybody started talking about, okay, this is what we do. Okay. And so we're going to spin the conversation a little bit. So Wesleyne, I don't know if I don't want to be premature if we're not going there yet, but if I come into you and I start talking about myself a lot, hey, Wesleyne, I do this whole e-commerce thing for manufacturers. I'm the best. I'm the greatest, da, 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 da. Do you want to do business with me?
Oh yeah, I'm going to throw money all over you, Curt, because I love hearing about you and
Probably
what you do
not.
and how you can help me. I mean, but seriously, who likes that, right? Who likes somebody coming up to them and just vomiting? And I like to liken it to when you go to a networking event and somebody shakes your hand and they're like, hi, my name is Bob Jones and I sell insurance. And this is what I do. And this is how I can help you. Are you interested? Here's my card. Give me a call. It's the same thing when you do that online. You're just vomiting what you do and why you're so amazing. And you're not taking into account the actual person on the other side.
Absolutely. So what we want to do is we want to really spin it and flip the script and make it all about the other person. Right. Absolutely. So the thing is, when you're on your LinkedIn profile, it makes it a little bit challenging because we don't know who's looking at it. Okay, but let's take a deep dive. What we love to do, as a matter of fact, we're doing a workshop here next month on the buyer persona. So guys, if marketing is a little bit new to you, or this whole, digital marketing, everything is a little foreign, you have a different walk of life, maybe you're a civil servant, you're a new entrepreneur, what we strongly encourage, welcome you to think about and take a deep dive into who is your ideal buyer. And with our training, our workshops, we love to call them, Wesleyne.
We love to call our workshops edutainment.
Edutainment. So we're trying to edutain folks. However, when we're on our our ideal buyers, we call them soulmates. So for example, this here is Monica Ventez. So this is a company that we were working closely with. And so, and this was a funny story. So the gentleman owned this, he's an Ivy League guy, went to Columbia University, he's in his 60s, been in business for 30 years, hugely successful. And just, this whole digital thing was a change for him. He just was trying to get caught up, get into the 21st century. And so we're like, hey, we need to start with who is your ideal buyer? And what had happened, his buyers changed and he didn't realize it. He was kind of aging up, and he thought that all of his buyers were aging up, but he was like, hey, you know what? A lot of the buyers that I grew up with are starting to retire. And he completely missed the mark and didn't realize that there's a whole young generation coming in. So what we identified was Monica Ventez. And so we took a deep dive into Monica, and Monica was a chief marketing officer. And again, this is a fictional character of your ideal buyer. And what I love about this example that you're pulling up, Wesleyne, is when you look down here, where is Monica? Down, if you guys look down towards the bottom there, Monica, she's in the B2B space. So where's she hanging out? She's on LinkedIn. So just like Wesleyne showed you, 36,000 views of your potential ideal buyers, your soulmates, if you will. Well, that's what we discovered with Monica. She's hanging out on LinkedIn. And so that's where we wanted to, that's where we were inspiring this particular client to start connecting and engaging with the Monicas of the world. So hopefully that helped as far as talking about your ideal buyers.
So now let's talk about these know, like, and trust bubbles, right? So often we focus on the know, right? Oh, I got to be seen. I got to post 50 times a day and everybody needs to know who I am. And then we're like, okay, now I'm posting all of this. And now they have to like my comment, like my post, right? Like it. And then we move into the trust bubble where it's like, okay, now they're starting to like it, but I feel like they're not trusting me because they're not commenting. I'm not getting any DMs. When I reach out to me, they aren't really coming back. So if you're too far in any of these extremes, you're not going to get your best bang for your buck. Your goal is to be right in the middle. They need to know who you are. They need to like you and trust you. They have to do all three for you to really start getting business and start generating return on your time and your energy into the platform. So how do we actually build trust on LinkedIn, Curt?
Well, great question. And let's get everybody involved here. So Small Biz Philly drops everything in moderation. So guys, you shared your superpower, what problem you solve. How about this? Let's do a little exercise here. Roll up your sleeves, get your fingers ready to type. Why would your ideal buyer, why do your ideal buyers trust you? Okay, why do your ideal buyers trust you? If you've been in business for a while, and again, you're in a safe place. This is our little networking group here. This is an opportunity to brag right now. Drop in the chat box. Why do your ideal buyers trust you? Because we are the authority of our niche. Small Biz Philly. God bless you, brother.
Good.
Great answer there. I don't have many buyers yet, Dana. So great. Okay, Dana, that's perfect for the new entrepreneurs out there. Why would your new ideal buyers, why would those soulmates potentially trust you? If Wesleyan and I are your soulmates, we're your ideal buyers, man, we work hard for our money, Wesleyan. I know you work around the clock. I work hard. And you're trying to have that ideal buyer part with their hard-earned money. Why would that ideal buyer part with their money to do business with you? Tracy says quality products, testimonials. We're going to talk about testimonials. Fantastic. Follow through on commitments and deliver good work. Leslie says results, consistency, accountability. Suzanne, I take time to listen. Man, be a good listener and answer their questions to find answers. Bernie says, I have extensive experience and listen to understand, not to respond. Lisa demonstrated success. This is perfect, guys. Keep them coming. I have relatable. I make myself relatable. I treat them like family. We make it personal at Rise Inc., if I'm saying that correctly, .com. Okay, this is perfect. So guys, what we're going to do is as we dig into this, if Wesleyan and I email, we're going to show some different examples. If I send Wesleyan an email, she knows nothing about me. If you remember earlier, maybe if you guys popped in a couple minutes late, I was talking about we're going to show like on our LinkedIn profile, mine says girl dad. So what did Wesleyne do? As soon as we connected, she says, hey, girl dad, love it. I'm a boy mom. If I email Wesleyne, I don't know that. If she emails me, I don't know a bunch of things about her. If you remember on her LinkedIn profile, and hopefully if you guys haven't connected, please connect with us. She has STEM right in her headline, and she talks about manufacturing. That's my crowd. So Wesleyne, take it away. Let's in Lenore, I got to give a shout out to Lenore, my friend here. I think my professional profile nursing will give people confidence in my seriousness and my new business. Lenny says, backed by global direct sales, proven track record, Dana, great service. So again, we want to get you in the mindset of superpowers and why your soulmates trust you. So take it away, Wesleyne.
Awesome. So really when we're thinking about what do we need to do to ensure that our profile has enough information to trust you and buy from you. So one thing that I want you guys to think about, you put some really, really awesome things in there as to why people buy from you. But what you're falling into is you're talking about how great you are. We had to change the paradigm and really think in the mindset of the buyer and think about why should they trust you? How do they know that you have the best customer service if they're just showing up on your profile? How do they know that you're relatable if you're just showing up on their profile, right? So think about that. Now I want you guys to think about, based on what you know about your buyer and what's on your LinkedIn profile, would you buy from you? So just put a yes or a no in the chat. Would you buy from yourself if you were on the other side looking in at your LinkedIn profile?
Small business Philly, of course. Yes. Yeah. Drop it in there. Lenore says yes.
History. All
Allison
right.
says yes.
I see some
Bernie
no. I
says
see
yes.
some yeses. Okay.
Perfect.
We have a lot of strong LinkedIn profiles here.
That's the best
Not
answer
yet.
right there.
That's okay. Not yet, right? That means that, hey, eventually. Okay. Yep. All right.
Yep. Lori says, absolutely good. I love the what was that slide a few slides ago? Unstoppable confidence, right, Wesleyne?
Yeah. Awesome. You focus on you. So when we think about how you really make that wow factor happen, you got to be a scroll stopper, right? So talk us through what that means, Curt, to be a scroll stopper.
Absolutely. I'll tell you one of the tips, and what we're going to do is hopefully we're going to be digging into your profile. And I've been doing LinkedIn workshops for years. And since this past year, since I met Wesleyne, even before Wesleyne and I started working together, I was using Wesleyne as an example. Guys, this is my good buddy, Ron Higgs. Ron is a man of integrity, phenomenal dude. He's out in Seattle. And so what we want to do is let's break down your profile here. Okay. And that last slide, if you don't know Les Brown, pop up if you're feeling a little down or you need a little confidence or inspiration, go catch a Les Brown video as a motivational speaker if he's new to you. But this buddy of mine, Ron Higgs, he's a Navy vet, but let's take a look what he has going on in his profile. Nice smiling picture. He's a handsome man. Business operations. See where it says Navy veteran. So God bless him. He served our country proud. He was actually served in the academy. And when you look at that look at the picture up above, and he's like, well, he was a Navy man. Of course, he's got that fighter jet. But do you see that little arrow above the fighter jet? That's actually Ron flying that plane. What an amazing, incredible conversation piece. So as Wesleyne was talking earlier, think about, over the time, and maybe, God forbid, maybe it's been us in the past, right? That we're that, throwing up on ourselves, trying to sell, or you go to the chamber or SBDC event and we just can't help ourselves. What we want to do is take a step back, but look what Ron's doing. Ron is a man of integrity. He served our country proud. He absolutely earned the right to share this picture here. So if he were in person, hey, Ron, tell me about yourself. Well, I was in the Navy. Really? You were in the Navy? Thank you for your service. Tell me, what did you do? Well, I flew fighter jets. Well, now if I email Ron, I don't know that about Ron, but when I come on Ron's profile, and now when I connect with Ron, and I just talked to Ron the other night, he is amazing. So again, we want to share your amazingness, but we also want to talk about how can we do this in a great means of humility where we're not making it about us. Wesley and I are working on our profiles all the time, so it's hard to master it, and it's a little bit of an art. So I don't want to say that the job is ever done, but we want to, let's dig into this, Wesley. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so let's talk about how you and I connected. You want to share this little story?
Yeah. So when we talked about, again, what Curt said is by using LinkedIn, we're doing all three of those prospecting pillars at once. So Dan Bigger was on my podcast, and after the interview, he's like, oh, I know all these people I want to introduce you to. So he introduced me to Curt via LinkedIn. Curt and I connected, and the first thing he said, wow, great profile. And I said, wow, girl dad, I'm a boy mom. Like, that is what stood out to me. Something that's small, and that's literally nothing to do with business, right? You can be human. Sometimes people are like, well, I can't put too many personal things on there. Do it up to your comfort level, but it's okay to be human. And we connected on that, right? Mm-hmm. I have boys, he has a daughter, and that's what we chat about when we first started chatting.
Absolutely. And wait, go back to that line there, Wesley, in that slide real quick. And look, let's grab some time to chat soon. E-commerce for manufacturers is definitely a niche. So look, by you looking at my profile, again, girl dad, that was an instant bond between the two of us. That's our priorities is number one, family. Number two, on my profile, I have e-commerce evangelist for manufacturers. So if you were looking for like HR assistants or maybe finance or operational excellence, I am not your guy. I'm the last person you want to talk to. But when you want to talk e-commerce for manufacturers, you're like, man, that's a niche. And we're going to talk about niches today. And that really connected us. We fell head over heels on our first call. We've been doing the business together ever since. We've tag team on multiple clients. We do these trainings on a regular basis. We're here at Temple and other agencies. And so again, you've been a tremendous blessing to me in my life, personally, professionally. And if it weren't for our friend, Dan Bigger, so there's 2 points in this conversation here for everybody. Number one, be the master connector. Boy, do you think Wesleyen and I love Dan Bigger? And we might talk about Dan Bigger some more. He's a phenomenal master connector. Yes. And by Wesleyen and I checking out and going through each other's LinkedIn profiles, we like, hey, this is a person of integrity. I want to do business with Wesleyen. I'm blessed that she felt the same. And it's been a wonderful relationship ever since.
So remember, it's all about what's in it for your soulmates. The goal is to connect with them. No one cares about you, right? Your spouse might care about you, your kids, your parents, your brothers, sisters, but on social media, on LinkedIn, nobody cares about you. It has to be about your soulmates. It's all about them, right, Curt?
Absolutely. Has to be all about them. So what we want to do, we can talk about examples. So we're like, okay, well, wait a minute. They land on my website. They land on my LinkedIn profile. And, I need to I want to be the scroll stopper. I want to capture their attention. And yet I don't want to talk all about myself. So how do we do that? How do we balance that out? A great way to do that are questions. If somebody can land on your website or somebody can land on your social or in our case today, your LinkedIn profile, here's a great tip. Okay. And I won't be original, say that I learned this. I came up with this on my own. I just I'm the messenger. Ask questions. So let's just say, for example, my dear friend Wesley, are you tired of struggling with your sales process? For myself, are you tired? Is e-commerce daunting, overwhelming, challenging, new to you as a manufacturer? If I can ask that question and I get that person nodding, now I might have their attention. Then I go to the next one. Do you struggle with, I'm going to talk e-commerce for a second. Do you struggle with your e-commerce platform? Do you struggle with SEO? Do you even know what SEO is? How do I capture these first page rankings? Are we tired of being the best kept secret? So if we can start asking some of these questions, like we had the soil expert, we had foodies, we had all sorts of different folks, different walks of life, small biz Phillies, the content king, fill in the blank on the problem that you solve, maybe pose that question to your soulmate and if they don't like that question, you're doing them a favor and yourself a favor because they might move on to the next person. They probably weren't a good fit anyway. So Wesley, those are a couple of tips there on how we can make it all about them.
Awesome. Awesome. And we have a few questions coming in, and I am keeping it in mind so I can ensure that we address them as we go through. So first, this is the 4-step process to give you a killer LinkedIn profile. So by the time you're done, again, you may not be able to follow along exactly what we're doing now, but please go back, watch the replay, pause, keep going. First thing is, what's my name, Curt?
Your name's Wesleyne Greer, 235649.
Really? So why is this your name on LinkedIn? The first thing to have a good LinkedIn profile is you need to customize your URL, right? It needs to literally be just your name. Don't add there are many letters behind it. And maybe your name is a little like Wesleyne Greer. I think there's probably only one of us in the world, right? But Curt Anderson, there may be somebody who already has that name. So what do? You just add something else. Maybe you add your middle initial, right? Maybe you say like Curt Anderson B2B tail, right? Curt Anderson manufacturing, something that people know is you. And so why is it so important to have this customized name? Why, Curt?
Well, for multiple reasons. It just, first, aesthetically, it looks a lot cleaner. It looks like you're paying attention, but you do a great job of talking about that social proof. Because now in today's world, again, email's not enough. Maybe for us older dudes, remember we used to even use, Wesleyne, before your time, we used this thing called the fax machine, right? So the fax machine, email, those are way in the past. And hey, by the way, if you look at who joined us today, our dear friend Richard Cartwright is here today. He's a LinkedIn influencer. Richard, if you want to, drop your LinkedIn in the chat. He's absolutely crushing it on LinkedIn. So welcome to the program, Samuel, Siobhan, a bunch of great people. But guys, what we want you to think about is when your ideal buyer, that soulmate, is checking you out, they're doing a ton of research about you before they ever pick up the phone or shoot you that message. And so here in this case, what Wesleyne's done is if somebody Googles Wesleyne Greer, she wants to make sure that she has a good, solid presence on Google. And then she just popped in Curt Anderson B2B tail. Same thing, because I want to be out there. So we don't want to leave any question marks if that ideal buyer can't find you, can't find a video about you, a podcast, something to earn that trust as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. And as you can see, when I type in my name, the first thing that comes up is LinkedIn. When I type in Curt's name, the first thing that comes up is LinkedIn, even before our websites, right? You see Twitter down below a little bit higher, but LinkedIn has a really, really strong search SEO. So you want to make sure that you have that nice, clean URL. All righty. Now, are you a real person? If you are a real person, you need to update your profile with a current picture, not you hanging out on the weekend. I mean, I don't care what you do on the weekend or after 5, but that's not what we want on LinkedIn. Not you with your kids. They're cute. They're absolutely adorable, but I want to see you. I want to see what your face looks like. Use a nice professional headshot. And this is a caveat. You don't need to go out and spend money. Get your cell phone. Have somebody take a picture of you in your house. Have your spouse, your kids. Just have a professional headshot. Don't be creepy, okay? Don't be leaning back. Like, I need to see your face, right? We want to see your face, not just you leaning back. So now I'm going to pause for a moment. And there are a couple questions in here.
Yeah.
So Lenora, you have a really great question about attracting what you should do to tap into your second degree connections. And so I want to answer that here because we're not going to go too deep into that strategy, but really what you have to do is always, 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 I like to say serve, serve, serve. So do not reach out and connect with people directly. I use a strategy of 2 likes or comments before I connect, right? And so if I like something that Curt posts today, and then I like something he posts next week with a comment, he gets a notification in his email, a text message, it pops up on his screen, however his notifications are coming through, that Wesleyne Greer liked this post. So then when you reach out and say, hi, Curt, I really enjoy reading your content, especially your post about X. Can I add you to my network, or would you be open to connecting? Something like that, right? So that is one really good way to tap into those second degree connections. You literally grab their URL, put them on a spreadsheet, find 2 ways to connect with them, and do that. The second thing is there is a function in LinkedIn. It's called Who's Viewed My Profile. You can go and see who's viewed my profile, and every single one of those people, every day I go in and I'm like, thanks so much for checking out my profile. I'm curious, was there anything that stood out to you? And most of the time, the people are going to say, I can't remember. Oh yeah, I really like XYZ. So those are 2 really good strategies to tap into those second degree connections, those people who are outside of your network. Pam, we're going to answer your question in a little bit about your headline. We're actually going to talk about how you create a killer headline. And then the next question is for you, Curt. Should you have an open-ended question, or does it really matter?
Excellent. That's from Small Biz Philly. I love those yes and no's, because I would want them, what we want to do, and especially like this is a strategy on your social posts and on your website and on your profile, is if they are an ideal customer and you want them giving you a heck yes, let's get them, are you frustrated? Like Small Biz Philly, you do content. Are you running out of time to put out great content? Yes. Are you, tired of sitting up late hours of the night and early hours of the morning, trying to get your blogging going? Yes. I have the answers. I'm here to save your day. Let me make your life better, easier, faster, so on and so forth. And so that's my answer there. I want to come back to our friend Lenore and piggyback off your comment there, Wesleyne. Phenomenal tips. And I just want to piggyback on this comment. Lenore, when you're connected, so let's say like Wesleyne has thousands of connections, okay? And as you just wisely pointed out, there's secondary connections. Here's what you could do. Is if somebody's connected to Wesleyne, odds are they very well might be a potential soulmate or somebody that I want to connect with. Just to reinforce what Wesleyne said, one of the best ways to do it is comment on those folks' posts, number 1. Number 2, boy, these people are on LinkedIn. They are looking for connections. I can go to Wesleyne's connections or people that connected or that dropped comments on her post and say, hey, Lenore, I saw you commented, you had that awesome comment on Wesleyne's post today. That was hysterical. I loved it. Loved the value you gave. Loved the comment. Agree with you 100%. However, I want to support that. We could talk about, hey, I see that you went to Temple University. I saw that you did this for a living. Have that, I saw that you're a girl dad, a boy mom. Go, show that you're genuine, that you care, that you looked at their profile and send them that genuine connection. So just to recap what Wesleyne said, there's a lot of great opportunities. Comment, like their posts, and go ahead and have the courage, shoot them a connection if you feel, but again, you're making it about them, not about yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think one final note is when you so actually 2 things with the public profile. One thing that I didn't mention is you need to have your profile open if you actually want people to find you. If you have it only my connections can see or only people on LinkedIn, then you're not going to be found. And so if you're really leaning into this digital strategy, having an open profile so anybody on the internet can see it, like I want people to find me. Like I'm not hidden. Some people don't like to do it because, privacy concerns, and whatever your level of comfort is, that's okay. But if you're really trying to lean into the digital strategy, people need to see who you are, right? So that's the first note. And the second note is you should put a block of time on your calendar every single day, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour. I think no more than an hour really is needed to be really lean into this LinkedIn strategy. And literally those soulmates, the people we talk about, your soulmate 100, those people who you want to be your buyers, be your referral partners, network with, go engage on their content, literally 30 minutes a day.
Yeah, and you do a great job at that, Wesleyan. And real quick, Small Biz Philly had one more question about tweeting compared to posting. I'll just share it, and please share your thoughts. I'm eager to hear what you think, Wesleyan. Tweeting's, I'm not super active on Twitter, but I am on Twitter. There's a lot of manufacturers in my space that are surprisingly on Twitter. And, it's just that constant feed. It's that constant feed. It's, Twitter, I don't do this, but you need to be posting multiple times a day to really kind of stay in the game. Another great way is there's join a group, get involved with like a Twitter chat group. And we have a great one, Wesleyan, we were just talking about it yesterday, for manufacturers that are on Thursday. So again, if you're a foodie, our friends in soil, whatever category that you're in, and again, not that we want to take a deep dive into Twitter, but it's just a different feed where, Wesleyan, we were talking, like, I'll have a comment or an article or a post that I put out, and like 2 months later, somebody will like it or find it. So there's much more, a much longer runway on LinkedIn, don't you think?
Absolutely. The dwell time of your actual post on LinkedIn is a lot longer. And again, you have to think about Twitter. You're limited to the number of characters, so you can't give as much punch, right? And so if you want to, I always say, find the thing and do it really well. Like, I'm on Twitter too, but I'm not like a Twitter aficionado, right? I send people to my LinkedIn profile instead of my Twitter profile. But if you want to double down on Twitter, a lot of the things that we're talking about are actually, you can take them and use them for Twitter. But again, you do need to be posting a lot more around the clock because the dwell time on your tweets is not as high. All righty. So let's keep rocking and rolling. So how do you show your soulmate what's in it for them? If I go on your profile and I see this beautiful avatar face and this nice background, is this showing what's in it for me? What do you think?
Little on blank.
How about this? When I stop on this profile, I'm like, wow, your goal is to provide me the necessary tools. Stop being the best kept secret. I don't want to be the best kept secret. What's this guy talking about?
Well, and again, if you're looking for certain areas, like we said, if you're looking for HR assistance, finance, and all these other things, maybe I could carry that conversation, but that's not my area of expertise. We're going to talk about niches. We always say those riches aren't in niches. I'm trying to stay laser focused in my niche, e-commerce, for evangelists, for manufacturers. I do a fun LinkedIn Live every week. So if somebody, and I'm not for everybody. We're not, unfortunately, my mom thinks so, but we're not for everybody, right, Wesleyne? So I'm trying to stay in my niche, and I'm trying to find the crowd that really, that I can help move the needle for. And so, again, when somebody lands on this, I'm trying to show my passion, my energy. And again, like if you're doing outdoor, mountain biking tours, maybe you with your bike helmet is the right thing to have for a profile picture. Or if, you're doing foodie, maybe you with some utensils in your hand. So again, like, speak to your ideal buyer that's going to resonate or connect. If you're an accountant or attorney, maybe you want to be a little bit more professional, or, whatever, you get the point, but, just show that trust, and how do you resonate with that person as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. Oops. So we need to create a banner that speaks to a person, single, one person, not people, not companies, not industries, a person, right? So you can create a banner for free. If you don't have a Canva account, you can hop on Canva, sign up for a free account, and we're going to walk you through the actual steps of the things you need to do for your banner. So what do you think about this banner, Curt? Do you like it?
Well, are we ready for the wee syndrome? Should we go there? Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So guys, if you come to our workshops, and a Small Biz Philly, you're probably familiar with this. Richard just dropped a great comment. We'll talk about, but if you come to our programs, we talk about this dreaded, awful disease that's plaguing the world, Wesleyne. It's called the wee syndrome. And
the wee syndrome.
The wee syndrome. Why don't you explain to everybody what is this dreaded disease that people suffer from?
We are the industry leader in electrical preventative maintenance and NFPA 70E compliance. First of all, we are the industry leader. Like, who's validating that? Everybody's the industry leader. And what is NFPA 70E compliant? Like, what is happening? All of these big words. Maybe they're not talking to me, right? And then on the other side, it's saying Current Safe has been helping our customers stay 100% compliant and electrically safety oriented. That resonates a little bit more. But this is not a good example. Why? Because there's too much we here. We don't need the we syndrome. You don't want to confuse them. It needs to be straight, right? Like, exactly, Anderson. It's like number one as, who said you're the number one? Like, number one in what? Remember, again, I need you to get it in your head. Everyone, no one cares about you, okay? This is not about you. It is not about how great you are. You need to speak to your soulmates, specifically talk to them, call them out, let them know who they are and how important they are. This is not for people or companies. It is a person, one single person. You should be so laser focused when you're doing this exercise that you can envision that person in your head. So now I want you to, hold on, let me activate this poll. This is another poll. Why does your customer buy from you? So initially, I want you to, before we ask, like, what do you do? Now I want you to think about why your customer buys from you, right? So go ahead, do this, take a few seconds to think about why your customer buys from you. Yeah, Heather, it wasn't that visually appealing either. It's pretty simple, you know, but different strokes for different folks, because maybe your target audience are engineers, and engineers like linear things. They like certain, right, Richard? I think you're a recovering engineer. So they like things that are linear. They don't like too much color. So again, you have to think about your soulmate, what they like, what kind of visuals will resonate with them. So Curt, why do your customers buy from you?
Well, you know, my mom has a different answer, but, you know, we are very passionate. We are, you know, we strive to stay on top of things. We are dedicated to their success, focused on their bottom line. Effective tools like today at LinkedIn, one of our favorite words is free. So we try to offer as much education. We do a lot of webinars, a lot of workshops, that type of thing. And so by putting ourselves out there, and I love what Richard says, you know, he's a power networker, again, 20,000 followers, and he's focused on STEM. That's right with you, Wesleyne. And, you know, we talked about Dan Bigger, if you guys remember earlier, being that master connector, Richard being, having these groups, these networking groups that you can be a part of. So you want to focus on what value do you deliver to your soulmates?
Yeah. And so really, I saw Suzanne, she said, I'm here to help you succeed. Succeed with what? Right? And you're still succumbing to so I and we are interchangeable. Okay. So saying I is kind of the same thing as saying we are here to help you succeed. Mm-hmm. But what is the customer trying to succeed in? What are you doing to actually help them achieve their goals? So I want you to keep thinking about, why do customers buy from you, and put that on your banner, that strong image of why your customers actually buy from you. So Curt already talked about having an open-ended question. This is simple. Do you need electrical preventative maintenance? Yeah, I do, right? And then over there, I will help you stay 100% compliant and electrically safety trained. So you can say how you're going to help them overcome their challenge, but give them some more meat. Like, I'm going to help you stay 100% compliant. And so when they land on this profile, it's like, yeah, I need electrical preventative maintenance. Let me go and let me look up some more to see what we actually have going on. So we're talking about you, them, not do y'all. I'm sorry, I'm in Houston. So do y'all need electrical preventive maintenance? Do you need it? Right?
Here's a great example. who here gets like spammy emails of people trying to sell you something? All of us, right? We all get those. And I don't like showing it at the, but I had one. It was just, man, it was like the award of the year for 2021, Wesleyne. And, you know, it went something like, you know, we were up 1,200% last year. We are crushing it with our customers. We are certified. We have this, we have, and that was an actual letter, email that I received. And the thing is, like, and God bless them, I appreciate their energy, their enthusiasm. I get it. However, you know, like, hey, well, what if I wasn't up 1,200% last year? Now you're making me feel bad. Or what if I'm not certified? Or what if, you know, like, you know, when you make it all about you, it just sounds, it's just so braggish, right? Is that a word, braggish?
Mhm.
So again, you know,
Yes.
focus on things. So for example, let's see if anybody out there, you know, insurance is like an easy target, or financial planner. You're like, oh no, here comes the insurance salesperson. But if I'm an insurance salesperson and I come to you, or I have lines on my headline of like, are you longing for a good night's sleep? Do you want to protect your family from tragedy? Do you want to protect your car from, you know, da da da? If I start asking questions about safety, I have your back, preventative maintenance, all these types of things, it just flips the script. Do you want to eat healthier? Do you want better life options? You know, again, we can make so many conversation, you know, those questions, or even turn them into sentences, and we can share. Are you looking for 50 years of experience from a company that's been there and knows what you're going through? You know, these are a lot of sentences and rephrasing that question. So flip the we into them.
Right. And so this is a comparison and literally of what Curt was saying. So we are the industry leader in electrical preventive maintenance. All we did was flip it to a question. Do you need electrical preventative maintenance? Right? Like asking them a question instead of saying we're the industry leader. And then over there on the other side is saying Current Safe has been helping our customers stay. This is where, because this is your personal profile. I will help you stay because I, as a person, remember, I am a person. I am not a company, right? This is not for your company page. Right. I will help you stay 100% compliant. And so somebody asked questions about building out their company LinkedIn profile. That is a big question that we get very, very often. So the same type of banner that we have here, you can use this on a company profile, right? What you need to do, I see it, Curtis, it's coming in. So I want to read it out soon. So again, ask another question that you know your soulmate may be asking themselves, right? Do you need to save time or do you need to save money? What are their pain points? What are their drivers? And then on the other side, it would say Current Safe will help you stay. Like the company will help you stay 100% compliant. All right, Suzanne, I love that you are working as we're going. Do you want to have 3 times the yield, stop erosion and puddling, eliminate weeds and pests with no pesticides or herbicides or their cost? That is strong. That is good.
Drop the mic, Suzanne. That was
good.
Right. I'm giving a little round of applause there. So guys, let's do this. Okay. Let's throw in our thinking hats. We're coming into the end of lunch. Roll up your sleeves. Pose a question in the chat box that your soulmate would potentially want answered. Okay.
Yep.
Do you need electrical preventative maintenance? Exactly what Suzanne just dropped. So drop that in the chat box. Do you need killer content that's going to move the needle for your business? Small Biz Philly. Think about those questions. Drop them in the chat box. We would love to kind of see what you're thinking as we're flipping the script. Don't you deserve the best life? Birdie?
Yes. Man. Yes, I do. I do deserve the best life, right? I love it.
You know what? And hey, let's take a little moment for Bernie. You know, he's helping folks with a terrible addiction. Bernie, God bless you, dude. What an admirable job that you're doing. The best thing you can do to help the loved one with an opioid addiction is take care of yourself first. Dude, good luck with your career. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for the service you're providing. That's very inspirational. Lenore says, this is so great. So Bernie, thank you for sharing that one. Guys, any other, God bless you. It's your vision. Reeslink, our clients direct and we follow their directions. It's a collaboration. We make it personal. When was the last time someone actually focused on you? Love it.
There we go.
Nice job, Tanya.
Latanya, that last sentence, when was the last time someone actually focused on you? Now I want to hear what you do. Focused on your business, focused on your mental health, focused on your marketing, right? Like, help me understand exactly how you're going to focus on me. And are you looking for signage or marketing material? Are you looking for best in class signage or marketing material? Are you looking for fast turnaround, creative? Give me another descriptive word in there, Heather. Do you want your pets to live a long, healthy life? Yes. Do you need a delicious source for everyone on your gift list? I do. Do you need an earned media strategy that will build your reputation as an expert healthcare provider while drawing patients into your business? That's good, Lisa. That's really strong. I want you to tighten it up a little bit, right? Just tighten it up. Do you need an earned media? And so that's a really good, I want to drill down on that a little bit. So remember, we're in our heads. I know what earned media is. You know what earned media is. Your soulmate probably doesn't know what that means, right? So I would simplify that to say, do you need a media strategy that will build your reputation as an expert healthcare provider? Question mark, right? So and I see that you're like, well, drawing patients in, but do they want to be an expert or do they want to draw patients in, right? We want to give them one thing. We're going to talk about your actual about section, and you add more meat in there. I'm glad you're enjoying this, Linda. Do you want an easy way to navigate a treadmill to increase your health benefits that anyone of any age can do? Stress and injury. Okay, that's good, Lenny. Let's just tighten it up a little bit, right? So my question for you is, what is your target age demographic? Are you talking to a 30-year-old? Or are you talking to a 60-year-old, right? Because their stage in life is really important. So keep them rolling in. This is good, Curt.
Let's go there for a second, Wesleyne. And man, what a great session this is. Thank you, guys. You're all giving me chills. This is just an awesome program here. Thank you. Let's talk. Okay, so as we're targeting LinkedIn, there's a particular demographic that's going to be on LinkedIn. Odds are, I have a teenage daughter. Wesleyne has young boys. They're probably not going to be on LinkedIn, right? Maybe the 20-somethings or college kids, they're just starting to come on LinkedIn. So again, since this is a LinkedIn workshop, and Wesleyne, let's go there. If we try to be everything to everyone, what are we?
We're nothing to no one.
Nothing
to no one.
So what's so critical, and again, we'd love to have you guys come back when we do our buyer persona workshop. But Wesleyne said we're speaking to a buyer. Remember, a buyer. So as you're speaking to an individual, we want to keep it tight and think about who is on LinkedIn that we're going to resonate with that message. And once again, kind of wrap up, and we got to keep things moving here. Think about those solutions that you're providing using that, that language. I don't watch that show Shark Tank, but there's that Barbara Cochran on Shark Tank. She has a great line that I love to quote. She says, "Make me money, save me money, make my life easier, make me prettier, and I'm going to invest in your company." So if we have that same MO, that same mantra with your LinkedIn profile, are we making our soulmates' lives easier, better, saving them money, making them prettier? And how are we doing that? I'm unapologetically dedicated to your success. Use that type of language, and you guys crushed it with our exercise. Thank you.
That was awesome. Awesome. All righty. So what is your secret sauce, right? So now I want you to think about what your best customers say about you. Like, brag on yourself, right? So some of our previous attendees, these are some of their answers. And as you guys are thinking about it, you can put it in the chat, or you can pop over to the poll. Are knowledgeable and capable of dealing with electrical issues, a great instructor, really may not know the answer, but always finds the solution. So think about, that's your secret sauce, because my favorite quote is, you can't read the label of the bottle that you're in. If I'm inside this bottle, I can't read what's outside here. So we have to sometimes go outside of ourselves to say, okay, so what do other people say about me? Like, if I ever need my ego struck, I just have to call Curt. I'm like, hey, Curt, I'm having a bad day. It's gonna be like, what? Wesley, you're amazing. You do this, 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 and this great. Okay, thank you for reminding me. So I want you to channel your customers and think about what they are saying about you. And as you guys are thinking about that, I want to answer Pam's question. So she was asking about a business page versus a company page. And so no matter the size of your company, if you have a company that is 500 people, 5,000 people, or one person, your company page is never going to get as much traction as your personal page. Why? Because LinkedIn and most social media know that you run ads from your company page, and they want to push you to run ads to get more traction on your company page. So you should post on there. If you're going to post 2 times a week, 3 times a week, you really don't have to go overkill. You want to make sure you have content on there. And why? The reason why is because the way people's minds work is they go on your personal page, they'll read some posts, they're going to click on the link that is underneath your name or your headline, they're going to go to your company page, read about your company, see some of those posts, and then go to your website, right? So you want to make sure that you have content on there. Now, if you have 1 or 2 likes and maybe the one person who liked it was you, that's okay. So you don't have to worry as much about the company page. And finally, the reason that it doesn't get as much traction is people buy from people, right? People connect with people. So I don't say, oh, I want to buy from B2B Tail. I say I want to buy from Curt because he's personable. Okay. So now let's see. Your customers say, put yourself in their gym shoes. Okay. That's good, Lenny. Bernie, you take a complicated matter and simplifies it in a practical way. And you're working with very sensitive topics, Bernie. So that is a very great thing. Oh, can you send me some pound cake? Very consistent and appropriate. That's awesome, Zeta.
Couple things. And again, shout out to Bernie. And I want to dig into, I know, man, we're having so much fun because we have a lot. Pam asked a great question. And you're the master of helping folks with the headline. So let's get there next. I want to, shout out to Bernie, and again, I've, maybe all of us, have had someone with addiction in our lives of, whatever it might be. And it is so troubling, peace of mind, giving, separating you from those awful ailments, the pound cake, Zaina, think about, so our pound cakes are consistent and appropriate. Looking to wow the company at the next dinner party, looking to wow the family with just tasty. They'll be asking, where on earth did you find this? So again, like add a little spunk to it. Let's get above like that we or I or our, and let's come in like, hey, wow your customers, wow your family members with this delicious pound cake to die for. So let's keep the chat box rolling, Wesleyen. Let's take a deep dive because I know Pam and everybody's looking on your superpowers here on how to build out the profile.
Awesome. So we have 4 elements of a strong headline. And remember, your headline is your calling card. So when somebody clicks on your profile, that's the first thing they see. So you want to call out your soulmate, right? I help. Who do you help? Who is that specific person that you help, right? So here I say STEM sales managers, and I could probably change that to say transform how a STEM sales manager, right? Being singular, but who is the person that you help? So remember, like a person, we talked about some cakes. We talked about exercising. That's on the other side. We talked about helping people with addiction and content creators. But where do you fall in that? So Bernie, you're helping families that have family members suffering from addiction. Is it teenagers? Is it people who are in their 30s, 40s? Is it a particular area of the country? Like, let's really focus in on the specific area that you are falling into, right? But a lot of times people say, I'm going to alienate everyone else, right? And so I say I help STEM sales managers. She's not a STEM sales manager. This is actually a person who runs a consulting firm. And she's like, hey, how do you support entrepreneurs? Nothing in my profile says anything about entrepreneurs. But She's like, oh, you're really good doing that. So I know that you're going to be good over here. Right. And so that is the key. Find something specific. What do you think about that, Curt?
Well, we are both perfectly aligned on that. We always say riches are in the niches. I have a line that I want to share with everybody. I do blog posts. I call it, how do you niche down till it hurts? And when I say hurts, I want to finish the sentence with hurts so good. So it hurts sometimes to tell a customer, no, I'm not in your wheelhouse. And Wesleyan, I'm 53. I finally figured out what I'm good at in life. You know what I'm good at? I'm good at admitting what I'm not good at. So what I try to do is, I had a wonderful client opportunity back in November. I'm like, man, this is slipping out of my strike zone. I'm a big baseball fan. I need to call in the big gun. I pulled you in and you absolutely crushed it because it was a huge sales team. I'm an e-commerce guy. And that's where you and I pair so well, is I needed help speaking to the sales team, and that's, you absolutely crushed it. And so, again, we've talked about Richard and some of the other folks here, focus on your niches. When we try to be everything to everyone, especially from digital marketing, we exhaust a lot of time, energy, effort, money, and it's frustrating. When you can really go inch wide, a mile deep, and just be that rock star in that space, that's where you're going to crush it. We have a couple great comment here from Latanya. I don't know if you saw that. It's all about you, your brand, your view, your you. Keep your thoughts and memories alive. And she says, I make my clients cry. So, man, great job. That is awesome.
Awesome. So, Suzanne, I would encourage you to find one. Is it a business? And if it's a business, what kind of business is it, right? Or residence or farm, right? So stick with one. And it's always like, people are like, well, which one do I stick with? What's the best? And for each business, it's going to be a little bit different. Some people think about the one that brings me the most money. Some people think about the one that I enjoy the most. And I won't get too philosophical on you guys here, but I will say that long-term as a business owner, working with those type of clients or in that industry or in that niche that brings you the most joy is what's beneficial long-term, because in the end, the money will follow. So what you're doing is you're talking about how you help them, right? So use an action word, right? So I help, I perform, engage, execute by what, right? And Lenny, she's 2 steps ahead of me already. I help everyone that has a burning desire to help the most important people, themselves, their family, and in other words, everyone, right? So Lenny, I'll challenge you. I help 50-year-old women, postmenopausal women, premenopausal women, teenagers that have a burning desire to help their family, their friends, their coworkers, right? Like, I really want you guys to get laser focused, because as you get laser focused, then you're going to start attracting those specific people that you want to speak with. Mm-hmm. So again, I help my soulmate by using behavior-based skill development. And the other day on LinkedIn, somebody was like, oh, that's just a marketing ploy. What does that actually mean, behavior-based skill development? I was like, oh, okay. So let me tell you what it actually means. I was like, that's exactly what I want you to do. Ask me a question, right? You want people to engage with you. You want them to understand exactly what you do. And then, so we have our first sentence. I transform, I execute, I do this to impact this person, right? And then how do you impact them? What is the change? What is the transformation that they say, right? Like, what do they actually get? Your sales team will hit quota when you utilize my blueprint. They will. Not they might, they sometimes do, but and I'm calling out the person who I'm impacting, because maybe I'm talking to a postmenopausal woman, but I'm really talking about how I'm going to impact her family relationship, right? So your family will fall back in love with you after I work with you. I don't know what it is. And then add a cool conversation starter. Curt, what's your conversation starter?
Girl dad.
Right? Something that people may not know. And that's how you know somebody actually read your profile, right? It's like, oh, and that may resonate with them. So So again, what I want you guys to think about is we talked about this headline, and your headline is like your calling card, right? It's like the little inscription that you would have on the back of your business card. So how do you break that down? You start with calling out how you can actually help your soulmate. And then your next block is you want to tell them, give them a little testimonial of what somebody has said for you, right? I have the most amazing pound cakes that melt in your mouth as soon as they touch your lips, right? Like, ooh, I want that. Send me a whole dozen of them, right? And then something cool, right? And so that is your headline. And then your about section is the expansion of that. So think about your headline as, if we go back to high school English, your headline is like your outline. Those are your bullet points. In your about section, you just want to expound upon those things, right? All right. So I think I answered your question, Pam. Hopefully that's good. What else you got, Curt? I have Leanne here. I want to chat with her a little bit.
Yeah, I'd like to go
ahead.
there. And I don't know if you're comfortable with this, maybe even jumping into your profile. I don't know if I don't want to take us on a road trip, but if you wanted to go into your profile, I would love, and she's very humble. I know you don't mind me doing this. I would love for everybody to see your about section real quick. And I think we could tie this in with Leanne's question and kill two birds, if you will. I need a better expression. I don't like that, kill two birds with one stone. I need a new one. So does anybody have a better one than kill two birds? That sounds awful. So anyway, Wesleyne, let's go down to your about section. And again, I'm biased. You know what? If you don't mind, show your featured section real quick. Let's talk about the featured, and then let's go down to the about section. What is so important about that featured section right there?
So if you think about yourself on the other side of the aisle, somebody comes on your profile and they look at your headline. They're like, okay, yeah, that resonates with me. They read your headline. Then the next thing that they see is they're going to see your featured section. And these are your top performing posts, right? Things that really speak about your brand, really talk about what you do, how you help people, all of that. And so this is where, and it doesn't have to necessarily be things that are on LinkedIn. This is an article I have linked on here from Plastics News, right? Again, falling into my my STEM. And so again, this is like, okay, this is my calling card. These are the things that I really talk about. And then next, you come down here and you see this about section. And you want to hit that?
I do. And I have to give a shout out. Look at the chat, man. So Suzanne, Pam, Lenny, man, God bless all three of you. This is, so Suzanne knows I'm a huge baseball fan. So I have two new baseball cliches. I have hatched, hatch two birds in one sitting, get the double play, twice the bounce for the ounce. Pam, thank you guys. Man, you guys are the best. I've been wanting to get rid of that kill two birds for ages, and you guys just did it in 30 seconds. Thank you. All right, guys, what we want to talk about. So what we've done is Wesleyne's done an amazing job. We're doing it with a combination of things. How to speak that right language to that right buyer, to that soulmate, if you will, right? Not making it about us, make it about them. And what Wesleyne, and so we took a look at that banner. We showed the nice profile picture. We went into the headline. We talked about the featured section. Now let's go into this. Let me get rid of that there. I'm going to move the chat box. Okay. Again, go back. Wesleyne, we just had our anniversary. I can't believe I feel like we've been friends for 20 years. We've been friends for a year. So we just had our anniversary last week. But take a look what Wesleyne has. Create a sales process that works. I love it. Like, that's her affirmative statement right there. A process that works. And what's great, so Wesleyne's been doing training. We've been doing training together for months. I can't tell you how much I've learned. Sales is not a strong point for me. And Suzanne, you'll love this. She uses a baseball analogy for her sales process. Well, guess who understood it? This guy did. So I fully understood it. She has this amazing, simplistic sales process that even a guy like me can get. But look who she's talking to. She's targeting companies that have a sales team. Okay. Let's face it. There are no comprehensive training programs for sales managers in science, technology, engineering, and look at how Wesleyne spells STEM, and manufacturing. Do you think she won my heart when I saw that for the first time? Absolutely. This is why we've developed a proprietary 7-step process. Now I'm going to jump down here a little bit. She has a testimonial. I hired Wesleyne to work with myself and my team to document our sales process. Although we've been very effective at sales prospecting, it was stuck in our brains and not documented, making it difficult to onboard new reps. This process was amazing, just like Wesleyne is. She guided the conversation, recorded the step-by-step process, and set us up to be effective. I highly recommend Wesleyne and any sales team, so on and so forth. I love testimonials, guys. And we can go to the bottom of if you're new to LinkedIn, there's an opportunity. But before you slide down, Wesleyne, look at how she has us nice and clean. She has her bullet points right there. So even if I don't read that part, I can skip right down to those bullet points. And I'm sure you did that intentionally. Preparatory 7-step process. So again, it's not about Wesleyne, it's about you guys. Think about what is your superpower? What is your proposition? How do you make it about them? And look what Wesleyne's done. She has her phone number right out there. She has her email right out there. She's not, we kid around like, unless you're in the secret service or in the witness protection program, let's put ourselves out there because we are open for business. So Wesleyne, anything else that you want to add on this about section here?
So I actually want to pop to Leanne. She asked about how can she merge the two, and let me actually pop in her LinkedIn profile because I was very captivated because, I'm like a nerd. And so when I looked at her LinkedIn profile, it literally says math and food. What? 2 things I love. So Leanne, you actually have a very good a basis for what you're doing here. You started very, very good. All you really need to do is switch it around and talk about how your love of math and food and these degrees that you have in both areas, how that impacts your clients, right? And so you can have your nonprofit work underneath. You want to have above the fold, if you will. If you think about a newspaper, what's above the fold is you want to have the thing that you want clients to come to you and talk to you the most about, right? So the thing is, start with that. And then if you have nonprofit work or you have a passion project, or if you have multiple businesses, it's okay to include a little bit about it, but you really want, what do you want people to know you about the most, right? And if you do have multiple businesses or different things you're doing, try to stick to one on your personal page and then use those company pages to really kind of push and promote the other things, because those would be your secondary businesses. Maybe I call it your side hustle money, things like that. So hopefully that helps. But like I said, math and food, I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I love it.
That's fantastic.
So now we have probably a little less than 10 minutes left, and I want you guys pop more questions in the Q&A. Pop your LinkedIn profile and say, hey, can you give me some guidance here? Whatever you may have questions on, we want to be your resource to answer for you. Anything that I missed talking about, Curt? Anything else we need to chat about?
We've covered a ton. And what I did, guys, is I dropped Wesleyne in my LinkedIn profile in the chat box. Would absolutely love to connect with you guys. And I think, let me get out of here real quick. Let me go back to the chat. I thought I saw a comment from somebody here. Was it Tracy? And so Tracy, connect with me on LinkedIn. And she said she has a Phillies tee. So let's shoot a note on LinkedIn. And I'll tell you what, how about an exchange? I'll send you a book. I have my book, Stop Being the Best Kept Secret. My mom says it's a great book, Wesleyne. So I have a book and she's interested in that book. I wouldn't be comfortable taking a gift, but maybe we'll do an exchange. But shoot a note, connect with us on LinkedIn. And Wesleyne, let's talk about, since we have a couple more minutes, Garba, if we have a couple more minutes, we can go to the bottom of the hour. I want to talk about testimonials real quick. Okay. You had a testimonial on your, let me pull this up. You had a testimonial on your about section. Guys, what a great way, Lenore, you were talking about, how do we connect with some folks? A wonderful thing to do, a great random act of kindness, especially I love doing this when people haven't asked. I love surprising somebody. I go on their profile, somebody that was a winner for me, moved the needle, somebody I admire, somebody who, whatever. And I'll go on their profile and I can send a nice raving testimonial. Okay. And I'm telling you, COVID's been tough on everybody. It's been challenging. It's been stressful. And when somebody can see that you send something really nice about somebody else, it is wonderful. Now, just this morning, I had somebody who I don't know that well. They dropped me a note. They're like, "Hey, Curt, could you, give a testimonial?" I have no problem doing that, but I'm more inspired to do one if somebody were willing to do it first. You know what I'm saying? So now I always love doing it first, and I have zero expectations that they're going to do it in return. But when I'm asked first and I don't know that person that well, that gets a little, you know what I'm saying here. So anyway, that's a great tip and a great strategy for you guys. I've used it for years. I've given dozens of testimonials, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm embarrassed. It should be hundreds of testimonials. That as a matter of fact, I should make that a bigger priority. And what it also does, it shows, and now it puts your profile on that person, that you have a relationship with that person. So anyway, I just wanted to share that tip, Wesleyne.
And that's a really good thing. And so we talk a lot in our, we have this thing, it's called the DWI, do it with you, right? And we talk about the integration of search and social. And so many times I like to say, people are like, "Oh, you're telling me to do so many things, but let's do one thing and then we can use it in many different ways." So I actually usually like to ask for a LinkedIn recommendation, because you can reject it. Whereas if you ask for a Google review and it's bad, it's just there forever. So you get the LinkedIn recommendation and then you say, "Oh, this is awesome. Do you mind also copying the same thing and putting it on Google for me?" Right? And so it's a way to kind of make sure that it's going to be great before you actually send it there. And so I got a couple people sent some links in, and Suzanne, and also who else was that? Oh, Heather. So one thing I'm going to tell you guys is, please don't apologize for anything. Again, this is my 60 seconds of business coaching that I'll give you guys. As a business owner, whether you've been doing this for 25 years or you've been doing it for 25 minutes, you have what we call imposter syndrome. And imposter syndrome is, hey, I mean, there's so many people who've been doing this for so much longer and mine isn't that great. Just lean into it, right? You are amazing. I literally started reading Suzanne's about section. I'm like, "Oh, this sounds so cool. You grew up on a dairy farm? Oh, and you're your dad's shadow, just like me," right? I'm resonating with what you have written there. Mm-hmm. So you're like, it's brand new and I haven't done much to it, but it's yours, right? And that's one key takeaway. Everything that you do here, this is yours. You can take your LinkedIn about section, put it on your website. You can put it on Facebook. You can put it on a speaker sheet, whatever you're using, this is yours. And just make sure that you are doing everything that you can to lean into this. It's sometimes you're going to screw up. Sometimes you're going to do something that's not right. Like I just changed that LinkedIn picture last night and I'm looking at it live. I'm like, I don't think I like it. So I'll just switch it out, right? You just switch it out.
I love it. I noticed that.
I know that. Lenny, my glasses, they're actually prescription, right? So they're just prescription. I've had them for so many years and they're the best. They helped me. So we have one quick question. Can we answer one more question, Garber?
Yeah, please. Just a quick one before we nail the last question. Just want to draw the attention of my wonderful participants that, I posted a 30-second survey about today's webinar. Remember, we at Tempo SBDC, we always cherish your feedbacks, even as it helps us to improve on the services we provide to you guys at a low cost. So kindly take, just a few seconds of your time to help us to fill it out. Wesley, you can continue.
All right. So again, I just want to make sure that everyone, please connect with Curt, please connect with myself. If we didn't get to answer your questions live, we want to make sure that we're a resource for you. We're happy to answer questions, grab a quick call with you guys, and please join us again. Our next webinar is, what is the next one that we're doing, Garba? I know it's next month. Oh, it's on buyer persona, isn't it, Curt?
Yeah, and that's I'm just looking real quick here. So I think it's April 20th. We're back. So April 20th.
April 20th.
Yep, it's a Wednesday at 12 o'clock. And then we have I think we're doing multiple programs. May, we're coming back in June. So guys, follow us on LinkedIn. We post these on LinkedIn. Again, a couple of shout outs: Richard, Lenore, Small Biz Philly, Suzanne, Tracy, Linny, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Every one of you on the call. We know how busy you are. We are rooting you on to success. Contact your SBDC wherever you are. If you're in the Philadelphia area, contact Garba Small Business Development Center at Temple University. If you're outside of Philly, there's an SBDC near you. Their services are completely free, confidential. They are just such a gift and a blessing for entrepreneurs. I want to give a shout out to everybody for what you're doing. Very inspiring. Just get out there and just get in the game. Wesleyne, I'm going to let you close it out. Thank you. You're such a blessing to me. You are a LinkedIn success story in my life. Why don't you close us out, and then we'll turn it over to Garba.
Yes, thank you. What I will ask for you guys to do, we've given you a lot of information, but commit to doing one thing, just one thing, tweaking one thing today before you close your day out, whether it's changing your headline, updating your picture, doing your banner, just one thing. And committing to doing one thing each day or each week is going to help improve your profile. Until next time.
Wow.
Thank you,
what
guys.
A great day and what a great presentation. You know, just to take us back to what I said from the onset, I did say today is indeed a great day. And we've got two wonderful presenters. And of course, I can attest to it, and you know, I can vouch for it that you guys actually had a great time. Curt and Wesley, thank you for a wonderful presentation. I love the way everything flows. I love the way, you know, it was more or less like an interaction. You know, the ideas kept coming on and the ideas kept flowing like water swim, like a fish swimming in the ocean and the rest. Thank you so much for a wonderful presentation. Personally, I learned a lot from you guys today. And of course, before we wrap it up, I want to thank my wonderful participants for actually keeping it a day with us. And also want to thank my wonderful colleagues, you know, my Temple Small Business Development Center team for making it possible for this webinar to definitely come into existence. And without further ado, and I think in the absence of no any other question, because from what I'm seeing on the chat, it's just thank you, and a great presentation. Everyone, thank you, and do have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.